A bucket has an empty weight of 23 Newton. It is filled with sand of weight 18 Newton and attached to a rope of weight 5.1 N/m. Then, it is lifted from the floor at a constant rate to a height 32 meters above the floor. While in flight, the bucket leaks sand grains at a constant rate, and by the time it reaches the top, no sand is left in the bucket. Find the work done. First, by lifting the empty bucket. Second, by lifting the sand alone. Third, by lifting the rope alone. And the last, by lifting the bucket, the sand, and the rope together.
Since the bucket's weight is constant, the worker must exert a force that is equal to the weight of the empty bucket. Thus, work is equals to force times distance. Then force will be 23 N and distance is 32. Multiplying the two together, you will get 736. Therefore, the work done is 736 joules. The weight of the sand is decreasing at a constant rate from 80 N to 0 N over the 32-meter lift. When the bucket is at x meters above the floor, the sand weighs. F of x is equals to the original weight of sand times proportion left at elevation x. It is equals to 80 times the quantity of 32 minus x over 32. F of x is equals to the original weight of sand times proportion left at elevation x. It is equals to 80 times the quantity of 32 minus x over 32. Simplifying it, it will be 80 times the quantity of 1 minus x over 32. Distributing 80, it will now be 80 minus 2.5xn. The function f of x is equals to 80 minus 2.5x represents the variation of the force with height x. Thus, the work is done. The integral of 80 minus 2.5x from 0 to 32. Since the antiderivative of 80 minus 2.5x is 80x minus 2.5 over 2x squared, input the values. It will be now 80 times 32 minus 2.5 over 2 times 32 squared minus 80 times 0 minus 2.5 over 2 times 0 squared. It will be equal to 1,280. Therefore, the work done is 1,280 joules.
The rope alone, since the weight of the rope is 5.1 N/m and the height is 32 meters. The total weight of the rope from the floor to a height of 32 meters is quantity 5.1 times quantity of 32 is equals to 163.2 Newton. But since the worker is constantly pulling the rope's length is decreasing at a constant rate and thus its weight is also decreasing as the bucket being lifted. So at x meters, the quantity 32 minus x meters, the remain to be lifted of weight f of x is equals to quantity 5.1 times quantity of 32 minus xn. Thus, the work done to lift the weight of the rope is, with the formula of work, is equals to the integral of f of x dx from 0 to 32, will now be equal to the integral of 5.1 times the quantity of 32 minus x dx from 0 to 32. Now, the work will be equal to 5.1 times quantity 32x minus x squared over 2 from 0 to 32. And then the final answer will be 2,611.2 joules. The bucket, the sand, and the rope together. Here we are asked to sum all the work done on the empty bucket, the sand, and the rope. Thus, the total of work is now equal to 736 plus 1,280 plus 2,611.2.
Created using Powtoon.